What is up, my bodyweight warriors, and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about pressed handstands, something a lot of people are working on, and I want to kind of cover a drill today that I get see thrown around a lot. A lot of people like to use it, but I don't think it has the carryover or the best results. I'm going to break down why you might not want to do this exercise. I'm going to give you a better alternative, but I'm also going to give you the reasons why you might want to use this exercise, because I'm trying to be somewhat objective here. Right, so the drill in question is the wall press to handstand. This is something that a lot of people will do when they first start training towards the pressed handstand, because probably the main reason is that they can't actually do it. Like with a lot of bodyweight moves, you either can or you can't. And this is one of those very frustrating things about bodyweight training, and very often handstands in particular. You can or you can't. And there often is a big gap in between the two. So if you want to do a skill, sometimes it feels good to be able to kind of do something that looks the same as it. Feeling good about doing something doesn't mean that it will help you to do something in the long run. And there's a couple of reasons why. The main reason the wall pressed handstand isn't great is simply because it doesn't actually train what we need to train and what we need to get stronger to get better at the pressed handstand, which is the shoulders. At the end of the day, the pressed handstand is a strength move. I know a lot of people like to say, oh no, it's a flexibility move. Kind of, but you're only going to be limited to flexibility by a certain degree. For example, I'm going to throw up my first ever pressed handstand here now, and you can see how absolutely terrible it is to begin with, but also I had barely any pancake at this point. My flexibility was terrible, but I had strong shoulders. So generally speaking, you'll only need as much strength as you lack flexibility, but if you lack strength, you're never going to get the pressed handstand. What this wall pressed handstand drill does is it supports the shoulders. And then you're gonna reduce the amount of strength, if any, that you're gonna need to perform the pressed handstand. Therefore, we're not gonna train the strength element, the pressed handstand, which is what we need to train to get the pressed handstand. So this is what I mean by one of those drills that feels good to do. It feels like you can do the exercise, but it doesn't actually help you towards it. It doesn't build the strength in the shoulders, the traps, to actually press into that handstand position. So what should you do instead? Now, there is many things that you could do instead, and I do have a full tutorial on the pressed handstand. It is quite old, quite long. I'll link down below. It has a bunch of good tips in there if you want to sift through it. I am working on making an updated one soon. But for a quick example in this video, we're going to use the same kind of premise, and we're going to do the wall pressed handstand done the right way. So to do this exercise correctly, to train it for building strength in the shoulders, all we're going to do is use a drill that was recommended to me by Merrick, who is a Norwegian hand balancer and co-creator of the Handstand Factory. I've got a discount code for that actually, and I'll link that down below. Full disclosure, it is an affiliate link, so it helps me out, but it also gets you a nice discount as well. For that drill, I'm going to call the wall press compress handstand. So all this is the original wall pressed handstand, but we're going to flip ourselves around 180. We're going to do this one in a chest to wall position. And rather than making it that dynamic movement of the pressed handstand, it's actually an isometric position, but because our shoulders are open, it's going to help actively strengthen in that bottom position, the position that is so hard for most people when they're doing the pressed handstand. For this drill, we want to start in our closest pike with our bum right against the wall. The reason we start in pike and not straddle is we want our hips to be nice and high in this starting position. Then make a focus using your shoulders, try to press the hips into the wall, lock that position in, and then you're gonna straddle your legs. By straddling your legs, you're gonna lift the weight off the feet and you're gonna have your legs suspended in midair. You then want to hold as long as you can. 5 to maybe 20 seconds would be a good goal. Just hold that position, maximum effort. Try to keep pushing toward, try not to let the shoulders sink down as much as you can. Hold it, and then drop onto your feet when you've had enough. As I said, the reason this drill is useful is that it trains the bit that we need to work. It trains the strength of the shoulders. And in particular, it's a really great way at getting that bottom position, training that bottom position of the pressed handstand, something that isn't trained a lot of the time in other pressed handstand progressions, and usually for most people is the crux, the hardest part of the pressed handstand, and it's a really great way of training it effectively, getting some nice time and accumulation of volume in there to hopefully help you make progress towards the pressed handstand. It certainly isn't as enjoyable as doing the original wall pressed handstand. It doesn't feel as good. It kind of sucks a lot, but you know, it's all about embracing the suck when it comes to training. For the sake of remaining objective, there is reasons in which you may want to do the wall pressed handstand, is understanding the articulation of the press. Sometimes people are strong enough and can get the press, but they can't quite link things together. Doing it on the wall in that back to wall position can help you understand the rolling of the hips up and the movement of the press itself, that articulation that is so crucial. For the most part, if you can't do the pressed handstand, the likelihood is you're not strong enough, which means you're probably going to want to address the strength element, in which case I would recommend using the wall pressed handstand, just done the right way. So that is basically it for this week, guys. A nice, quick and simple recommendation when it comes to training the pressed handstand. Alternatively, if you just want programs for everything else, I've got my app Tribe, which has routines for strength, handstands, flexibility, and more. Other than that, if you have any questions about today's video, please feel free to leave a comment in the comment section down below. I read through every single one and reply to as many as I get the chance to. If you just enjoyed this video, if you found the tips useful, I hope they were, hit that thumbs up button and support the channel. Right next to it is that subscribe button if you want to join the Bodyweight Warrior Tribe. Don't miss out on any more future videos. But that's basically been it for this week, guys. I'll catch you in the next episode. Have a strong week and peace.